I don't know the exact moment the world ended. Maybe it was the hum that replaced the wind. Maybe it was the silence of my phone. Or maybe it was when the stars started flickering like pixels in a dying screen. But I do know this: I wasn't supposed to still be here. It started on an ordinary Tuesday. I woke up to my alarm at 6:45 like every day, but the voice that came from my phone wasn't the same. It said my name with a strange softness, like it was remembering how to pronounce it. "Good morning, David," it whispered. I froze. My phone never used my first name. At first I thought it was an update. Everything updates now, whether you want it to or not. But then I noticed my calendar was empty. No meetings, no reminders, not even holidays, just a white void. And when I stepped outside my apartment, the air felt clean, too clean. No sounds from traffic, no barking dogs, not even the distant buzz of electricity, just a static emptiness. I walked down the street, calling out to anyone. "Hello, anyone there?" My voice echoed like I was shouting inside a vast chamber. My neighbors' cars were parked in the same spots, but there were no people. The lights in the building were on, but flickering, as if struggling to decide whether to exist. I tried calling my sister. The line rang once, then cut to a monotone voice. "The world is rebooting, please stand by." I dropped the phone. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time stopped meaning anything. I sat on the curb, watching clouds roll across the sky like they were being rendered in real time, sometimes freezing mid-motion. That's when I noticed something worse. The world was repeating itself. A paper bag rolled across the street. Then again, a bird flew overhead. Same pattern, same shriek. A drop of water fell from the same broken pipe every 12 seconds without fail. Reality had entered a loop. I started testing it. I placed a bottle cap on the sidewalk, walked around the block, and when I came back, it was gone. Everything had reset to its default state. I wasn't sure if I was hallucinating or if the universe had gone through a factory reset. By sunset, if you could call that pale orange glitch a sunset, I realized I hadn't seen a single human being all day. I decided to walk to the city center. Maybe someone, anyone, was there. The billboards were all on, showing ads for things that didn't exist anymore. New You 3.0 experience the next reality. Update complete. Welcome back, citizen. I stared up at one that was frozen mid-glitch, its letters flickering between two words. Rebooting, remembering. When I reached the main square, I finally saw movement. A figure standing perfectly still near the fountain. A man in a gray suit, head slightly tilted up, eyes open but lifeless. "Hey," I called out, running toward him. No reaction, not even a blink. I touched his arm, cold plastic. And then, as if triggered, he spoke in a voice completely flat. "Reintegration in progress. Please wait." His body jittered, and suddenly there were 10 of him, flickering like corrupted copies before vanishing in unison. That's when I started to remember something, a fragment of a dream I'd had weeks ago, a giant white room filled with rows of pods. Each pod containing someone asleep, people I knew, people I didn't, and a voice saying, "Don't wake up before the reboot." I think I wasn't supposed to wake up. Maybe the reboot was the next stage. A migration. A digital ascension, whatever you want to call it. Humanity had decided to upload itself, escape the dying world, and I somehow missed the transfer. Maybe my pod malfunctioned. Maybe I'm a leftover. I walked through the empty city, my own footsteps echoing like an intruder's. Storefronts played looping commercials. Screens blinked in sync. The moon rose then froze halfway, as if hesitating to continue the simulation. That night, I heard voices for the first time. Faint, overlapping whispers. They came from the static of every device around me. Radios, TVs, even streetlights. Snippets of conversations, laughter, prayers, and one clear phrase that repeated over and over. Migration successful. All users online, but I wasn't online. I was the ghost in the offline world. Days or loops passed, I stopped counting. Each morning began the same. The alarm voice, the empty calendar, the static air. But something new started happening. Objects began disappearing entirely. First the mailboxes, then trees, then entire buildings. The map was simplifying itself, like a game clearing unused assets. And the edges of the world, I found them. I drove west for hours, until the road just ended. No mountain, no ocean, just a clean white horizon that stretched forever. I threw a rock into it. The rock dissolved into light, and then a system message appeared in midair. Floating text, like an augmented reality. ERROR, user not found. Would you like to reconnect? I laughed until I cried. I said yes. Nothing happened. That night, I dreamed again of the white room. Only this time, I wasn't lying inside a pod. I was standing over one. Inside it was me, eyes closed, wires attached to my temples. A voice behind me said, "You woke up too early, David." I turned, but there was no one there. Just the hum of the machines. And when I looked down again, my sleeping self opened his eyes and mouthed the words, "You're the backup." I woke up screaming, except I wasn't sure I had woken up. The room around me wasn't my apartment anymore. The walls were perfectly white. The corners didn't exist, just infinite smoothness. There was a single door, black and seamless. When I opened it, I saw the city again, but this time, people, dozens of them. laughing, shopping, driving. Life had returned. But as I stepped outside, I realized something was wrong. They didn't see me. I shouted, waved, even touched a man's shoulder. My hand went through him like mist. They were living in the rebooted world, and I was watching it from outside. I tried to communicate. I left notes on walls, typed messages on computers. Everything vanished after a few seconds, replaced by system texts, unauthorized input. So I started talking to the static again. It listened, sometimes replying with fragments of human sentences. Then one day, I heard my sister's voice through the static. David, you're not supposed to be there. We had to leave you. I froze. What do you mean? I asked. Her voice flickered in and out. You died, David. In the transfer, we tried to restore you, but you didn't upload right, so what am I? A cache, a residue, and then silence. I smashed the radio. It didn't even break, it just dissolved. I screamed at the sky, but the clouds didn't move. The world was frozen in perfect simulation, except for me, the leftover consciousness of a man who never made it to the next version. I've stopped trying to sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see the white room again. Sometimes I hear the voice asking if I want to reconnect. Sometimes I say no. Sometimes I say yes. Either way, nothing changes. But recently, something new happened. A light appeared in the distance, not the glitchy artificial kind, but warm and human. It looked like a campfire. I walked toward it for what felt like hours. When I reached it, I saw another person sitting by the flames, a woman. She looked as lost as I felt. When she noticed me, she smiled weakly. I thought I was alone, she said. Me too, I answered. Were you left behind? She nodded. They called it the migration. I woke up too soon. We sat in silence watching the fire, though it didn't produce heat. After a while, she said, do you ever wonder if maybe we're the real ones, and they're the copies? I hadn't thought of that, but now, I can't stop. It's been weeks since then, or maybe moments. The woman disappeared one day, mid-sentence. Everything resets again now. More often, the world is cleaning itself, and I can feel my own edges fading with it. I think the reboot is finally finishing, and when it does, there'll be nothing left for me. Before that happens, I've decided to record this. If anyone ever finds it, if there's anyone still real out there, remember this. When the world rebooted, I was left behind, and maybe, so were you.